Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
To Anoop ji.
Yes,
so, yes, sir. Sir, now can you please tell us about the three mind frame works and its application?
What is the thing? Okay, please. You know what? Is it possible for you to type this question?
Yes, sir. Sure, I'll do that. I'll do that. Sir.
Sorry
yes,
for this trouble.
Yes, sir. I'll do that.
Yes, Anoop, very nice talk.
Thank you, Mr. Floyd. Thanks for...
Anoop, can you talk a little bit about your influences like Osho, J. Krishnamurti, and what you suggest to newcomers?
Yes, I have been very interested to understand the meaning of life, what life is all about, and things like that. For that, it took me through so many masters, which are... Hi, Floyd, how are you? Good to see you.
Good.
Yeah, it was, I read so many books and I went to so many ashrams and I met up with so many gurus. And to basically understand what is this life all about and things like that. And all such people have had a tremendous influence on me. And one of the persons who I have respected and understood, apart from so many others, is of course Osho. I have loved the way he has explained various aspects of life, and he has touched me most. So, one of the things which really got to me was that that the question has got to be yours, because there's so many questions going around in this world that you sometimes end up asking somebody else's question.
Yes.
You really ever are asking your own question. So
and sometimes we ask questions to look smart,
yeah.
Like what I did with you just now.
Okay.
And Anoop, I think we should also chat with Dr. Yugandhar, and because he also knows a lot about these spiritual masters.
Yes.
Dr. Yugandhar, are you there? Would you like to share about Osho, J. Krishnamurti, and some of these people? What is their role? I don't know if doctor is there.
Yeah, Mr. Anoop, Anoop-ji, I have a question for you. Am I audible?
Let's decide. I just saw your question.
Yes,
and sir. I am not too much aware of this three minds framework and its application, because for me, it's all one. It's one mind. So, I don't even divide it from subconscious to conscious mind. It is, subconscious mind is basically a mind which is not known to us consciously, Okay. So the more it reveals itself to you, the more it becomes a part of the conscious mind, right? Okay. So I haven't really split these things up into three minds. So that question would be not so applicable to me.
Okay, sir. Please tell us about the experience, how to fill up the void. As you said, now you're not filling up the void and you're just, let go types. So explain us as to how do we practice the same.
You see, the thing is that you will continue to do the same things with a let go. You are never going to fill up that void, because that is the deep abyss which is never going to fill itself. So what happens is that you let that remain where it is, because as I tried to explain to you, that it is in that void that everything else is happening, right? So when everything is happening, that is what is more powerful. That is happening because that is allowing things to happen, right? So when you start living with this void, and at least with the consciousness of this void, then what happens is every act that you do, you will do the same things, but you will tend to do it with the let go. You will tend to do it with your hands open. You will tend to do it with with the sense of that it doesn't matter, it's okay. You won't be hankering so much for the result. So to answer your question, there is no filling up. It is only living with the void.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Dr. Yugandhar? Shamiji, are you there?
Yeah. I just want to add that the void Anupji is talking about is basically our true existence. That is our true nature, and we cannot escape that anywhere. And everything is done, and everything is dissolved as we call what we align with, what we relate with, and everything is done. We enter this void. This becomes our true existence. This becomes our true nature and routine. There is no possibility.
So your voice is completely coming in breaks. I don't know whether it's coming in a similar fashion to you all also.
Yeah, it's breaking. The voice is breaking, Shamiji.
Maybe you can just type the question if the internet is not clear at your end.
Yeah. Dr. Yugandhar, would you like to give your views about filling the void or letting go as Anoopji explained right now? Shamiji, there is disturbance, Shamiji.
You can mute them. Why do you ask?
Yeah.
You can mute anyone.
Renukaji, you can mute everyone. And Anup
Yes,
is speaker.
yes, ma'am. Yes.
And Anupji.
Yes.
Yeah, Anupji, I am Dr. Vaidehi. Very nice talk. One question for you. Anupji.
These people do not know whether the internet is good or not.
Yeah.
If somebody's internet is not good, tell them to stop.
There are a lot of disturbances, sir.
From your side, there is disturbance, not here.
No, that's what.
Okay.
Yes, Vaidehi, you were saying something.
Yeah, am I audible? Is there any?
Yeah, you are audible. You are audible.
Yeah.
You are.
Anupji is there?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, Anupji, your talk is very nice. I am Dr. Vaidehi from Nellore. I have a brief question for you.
Yes.
So, may I know an inspiring person you have been talking about Oshoji? Any live master by which you are inspired by a lot? Can you throw some focus on it?
On what? Sorry, throw some focus on.
One live master who inspired you.
A live master who has inspired me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I would say that no, I have had the opportunity to meet Dr. Deepak Chopra, Robin Sharma, Azim Jamal, Jack Canfield. These are the motivational masters. Then Tony Robbins, and I have basically read most of the masters who were passed on, like J. Krishnamurti and U.G. Krishnamurti and Osho. And no, none of the live masters, I would say, to answer your question, have really inspired me. But one of the people who really helped me finish my search on this field of spirituality was U.G. Krishnamurti. Not Diddu Krishnamurti, but U.G. Krishnamurti. He's somebody who really blasts your entire thought process so madly that all your questions come to a halt. And that's the day you stop probably, indulging too much into books or seminars or whatever it is, because there are no questions. All questions are very, there are no answers, real answers.
Any book of U.G. Krishnamurti?
Oh, yes, U.G. Krishnamurti. Floyd, can you help with one of the books? Would you remember? I'm not able to recollect the book. Are you there,
of
Floyd?
music.
Yeah, there's a book called The Mystique of Enlightenment,
Yeah.
which is, I think, the main book which UG wrote. And there are many others about the calamity and all that. And there's a autobiography by Mahesh Bhatt, who was a big follower of UG. Mahesh
No,
Bhatt,
one
the
of the
director.
best books. Only one book which is suggestible, like Osho book, Awareness is the best.
No, that one book you have to ask book curators, but these are some of the main books. Mystique of Enlightenment, autobiography by Mahesh Bhatt. These are the main ones. You can
see,
choose
I think
anyone.
Thank you.
to answer your question, because in every book there are so many questions being asked by the seekers that more or less it is pretty much the same. You are faced
Yeah.
with reading several questions. So my suggestion is just read any book of UG
Okay.
Krishnamurti, and you will automatically fall upon the next until you don't want to probably read anybody else. It just
Oh,
comes to a
fine.
complete halt. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anoopji. Nice.
Thank you so much.
Hear you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anoopji, how do the beginners start the way you said, the void avoidance?
Oh, like I said, it can't be avoided.
I
The
mean,
beginning.
for a
It-
beginner's journey, as if like you have been practicing for years,
Yes.
but for us, like the beginners, how do we first recognize the void and then avoid the void?
Yeah. So once again, I would say that I will go with your latter question is that you cannot avoid the void. You
Yeah.
cannot avoid it.
Yeah.
You have to live with the void,
Okay.
right? So that is the thing. And for the beginners, you don't have to be deeply spiritual or pursuing a journey in spirituality in order to really understand this aspect of the void that I have been talking about. Because the fact is that even somebody who's not reading anything to do with spirituality, in his job, in his relationship, in his travels, will feel the anxiety of the fear of the unknown, right?
Yeah.
You understand? So for that, you don't need to be deeply spiritual. You would be feeling the fear of the unknown, which you discuss with your parents or with your friends, and sometimes it becomes so intense that you start having panic attacks and you start having palpitations and things like that. So living in that, the moment, the day you realize that you cannot escape that unknown, then you start living with the unknown, because the unknown will always remain more than the known.
Right.
The known will be probably point some percent, but the unknown will be always very vast. So that is why all the spiritual masters have talked upon this shunya. They have talked about the unknown. Have talked about not knowing, right? So not knowing will always remain more powerful than the known. So probably I would say that if I was to think about it today and frame it in a different way, it is that not knowing or the unknown aspect, which can be termed as another way of interpreting the void.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what should we do? Should we meditate or read the books or something?
No, I have that answer. I have texted that answer.
Yeah.
that
Practice is
question.
to attain enlightenment. Yeah.
Yeah, they have
Yes.
to go together. Flora G, who is that master? Yeah,
Yeah.
the Floyd G.
See, reading is one way of getting into yourself. If you're just reading for the sake of reading, then you will be basically cluttering your mind with a lot of knowledge. And knowledge is never going to, at some point of time after 15 years of reading, you will realize that knowledge is becoming like a block towards your own spiritual development. So you have to read, but
And
later
implement.
at some point of time you got to relax that process of reading and going too much into ashrams or talking to too many people in terms of their knowledge or whatever, because that is the time to go within, right? That's the time to go within, and basically your own grain, what it is asking for. It is something so simple that you have to live your grain. So that is something that anybody can do, and even a child can do, and a child is doing it unconsciously, we as adults have to do that, living our grain consciously.
True.
That is what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, sir. But here what happens, sir, we are taught, you can't hear me, sir, properly?
Yeah, I am, yes, I can.
So we are taught, like sometimes, like some scripts or some books say that we have to remain in a balanced state. And somewhere, as you said, we have to go to the shunya state. But exactly what should we understand and what should we practice? Do we balance or go to shunya?
Shunya is not possible to be living in at all points of time in your life. It is not even advisable, because the fact is you do need your mind in order to function in this world, right? So, I mean, just like you can't afford to go on a holiday 24 hours a day or 365 days in a year. Similarly, shunya is a state that you achieve in some points of time in your day, right? If you are aware and if you're living your life with awareness, then what will happen is your mind will reach that point of shunya at some point of times in the day. But an absolute devoidance of thought is not possible, because the fact is that it's like saying, okay, I'm going to live without food, right? So the question is that your stomach needs food. The thing is that maybe you will eat a different kind of a food. You will start eating sattvic food, but you still need food. So similarly, the function of the mind is to think, right?
Yeah.
So to go into absolute, you have to live in shunya at points of time in your life, and you have to live with thoughts when they are there. Because delving in thoughts, getting into the network of thoughts is, of course, it can be very exhausting at points of time, but it's very interesting to live with your
Yeah.
thoughts, because it's with thoughts that so many inventions are made,
Correct.
right?
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah, but living with that consciousness of the shunya is that all these thoughts are coming from shunya and going back to shunya.
Right, sir.
So
Right,
that way
sir.
you don't hang on to a thought also. It just comes and goes.
Uh,
Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. But as you said, sattva, like over sattva also alkalizes, over alkalizes. So my question was either to balance or to alkalize or acidize the body. I mean, the thoughts also are sattva, as you said right now. So if I'm over sattvic, okay, I am over alkaline.
You see, there is balance is what it means to you, right? There's certain people who work at nights and don't work during the day. They sleep till quite late during the day, and they work at nights. A lot of the minds in the history you may have read about do that. So, what is balance? Balance is according to what is balanced to you, right?
Okay.
You understand? So, certain people may be living with a lot of thoughts and a lot of thoughts, right? So that is okay. There is nothing called as that, but you must be aware that when there will be points of time of shunya in your life, and there will be points of thought, but there is nothing called as when you are living like 8 hours sleep and 8 hours play and 8 hours work. That is good as a theory, but when you start living it, it doesn't happen like that. You have to live your own grain. So for me, I do most of my work at night. So so I don't know what is balance. No, I wouldn't say there is anything called as a balance in my life. No,
Okay.
I just live it according to uh, whatever comes to me in the moment. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Yugandhar, would you like to answer this?
Answer what?
Sir, I asked, as Anoopji had said, that Shunya state, I mean, he spoke about void. And then he said, just don't keep filling the void. Then after his experience, he just tried and lived with the void. He did not stress upon filling that void, and so he became very relaxed. So what I asked him, sir, that if we are the scripts say, if we attain shunya or we attain balance, so what exactly should we follow? So the talks of Anoopji, and my question is whether should we follow the shunya or we follow the balance?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Here, we have to understand first about in which reality we are manifesting before we choose so-called balance or so-called emptiness. If it is a spiritual reality, there is nothing like balance because you're already empty. Emptiness itself makes you spiritual. Emptiness of what? Emptiness of the complete images and impressions, complete exteriorization of what you are. When we stop the complete exteriorization, that leads to emptiness of mind. Emptiness, when the mind gets emptied, the awakening begins. And all these things is an internal affair, otherwise called as spiritual reality. When it comes to the social reality, we need to work with all the 4 divisions of Antahkarana. Mano, Buddha, Hankara, Chitta. So all these are required because social reality needs all these things. For the application of one's emptiness, something called as mind is required for social reality. So for social reality, it is a balance that matters most, not emptiness. But for spiritual reality, there is nothing there to balance. You have to empty everything. So application of one's emptiness leads to balance.
Yes.
Application of one's emptiness leads to whatever elements that are required to operate in the social framework. In the social framework, there are thoughts, actions, emotions, and so many things. So when to do what, how to do, what to do, when not to do, how not to do, how well to do, how well not to do, all these parameters, all these permutations and combinations, they all come into play. Here the balance comes. This balance is otherwise called as vichakshana or viveka. So the viveka and vairagya means emptiness. Viveka means what you apply social reality. Vairagya is you are detached from all these things. So vairagya is internal affair, viveka is applied affair. So when you are closed not doing anything, it is always the vairagya that matters most, emptiness that matters most. When you are open eyes, right now talking to you on Zoom, it is my viveka that is more important. What to talk, what not to talk, how not to talk.
Correct.
When to talk, when not to talk, how much to talk, how much not to talk. All these things come under viveka. So this is a balance. This is what is called balance. So this balance comes only when you are empty inside. When a person is rooted in one's consciousness, he knows how to balance things, how to be meridian in everything. Meridian means nothing but balance, exact midpoint, middle path. So all these things emerges only when you are rooted in consciousness. When someone is not rooted in the core of one's consciousness, he will be rooted in the peripheral part of one's consciousness, otherwise called as mind. So most of the people in the world are rooted in their minds and emotions, not in consciousness. When you are rooted in consciousness and operate in social reality, that activity is totally different. That is a yogi's sphere, master sphere, the warrior sphere. For him, it is not the action that is important. For him, how well he is performing certain actions is very important. He is much bothered about that. Even trivial things like brushing the teeth, taking bath. He is much bothered about how conscious he is while brushing the teeth, while taking bath. That is most important for him. That's a war for him. For a warrior, it is a war always with him, with his own opposing thoughts, with his own distractions and temptations. with his all parameters which exteriors him, he fights with them. For him, how well to do certain thing is extremely, extremely, extremely important. He's not bothered about action, but how rooted he is in consciousness while performing certain action, be it trivial or complicated, that itself is most important for a warrior or a yogi or a master, whatever you call it.
Thank you. Very well explained. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. But then how do we understand that and spread this unity consciousness?
How to?
How do we understand and spread the unity consciousness?
See, first thing is, unity consciousness has to be understood only by way of bringing unity in oneself first. Unity within oneself is the precursor or the prime factor or the primordial factor, preliminary factor. Without unity in oneself, we can never think of unity without. We can't think, because when the mind is in continuous conflict within, you only attract conflicts outside. You can't even think of unity. Unity is utopic idea for them. But for the people who have already united within means what? There are no contradictory thoughts. There is no law of extremes operating within. There is no conflict, chaos, confusion within. Everything is streamlined. You think only when you want to think.
Yeah.
You think only when you want to think. When this type of consciousness emerges within, then only you think of unity. And unity is a big task, because you have to bear with all the stupids and idiots of the world. You have to bear with them. When you want to transform with them, there is no way you can like them. There is no way you can like any of their talks. But still, you behave as if you are in jail with them. For their transformation, you know everything, but for their transformation, you lower yourself, you drop your identity. That is the master's way. To transform others, the master descends himself. You told balance, right? Let me introduce the balance here also.
Yes.
So he balances his own as per the situation, as per the person. He uses every element of emotion and thought to transform him. Not by way of opposing him, not by way of contradicting him, but okay, it's okay, it's okay. So slowly the person in front will understand the wisdom of this guy called as master. Masters, by appearance, they are common men. Because people can't understand them as wise men, this master grows beard, takes typical clothes, and behaves like a guru. That's what is happening. Because people can't understand the commonness.
Yeah.
People can't understand the simplicity. So people because when something is simple, easy, accessible, available, they won't get attracted. They won't value it. So masters have to play a camouflage role sometimes, especially for gurus. But when you want to go in the perspective of unity, is a very tough job. Very tough job, because you have to bear so many people. You have to bear. Your tolerance levels must be very high. Your patience level must be very, very high. You must acquire infinite levels of patience, infinite levels of tolerance. It's a painful job always. It is never a cakewalk. And he's devoid of pain. The master prepares himself in such a way that he is devoid of pain. Nothing really touches his core. Everything is superficial. Just they're all going out above his head. So this type of attitude the master prepares. Mastery is nothing but preparation. When you go on a task, when you go on a mission, the warrior or a master prepares himself. The wise man prepares himself. Preparation is everything. It takes a lot of time for preparation. Sometimes some lifetimes. But just preparing oneself. So much of preparation is required to bear all these things. And slowly, when he completes the task, when he completes the mission, he goes with beautiful smile. Yes, I have done it. That is what is called soul fulfillment. And people who are called as masters always come for higher jobs. not for trivial jobs. The greater the mastery, greater the mission that is taken up. The size of the mission that is taken up reflects one's self-mastery. However simple, however accessible one may be, the very job he has taken speaks him. And his action is not a man of words, he's a man of action. Action, only action. Nobody knows that he's in action, but he's always in action.
Absolutely.
And he does all these things in such a way that as if he's not doing anything. And that is the grace of the master. Doing everything as if he's doing nothing. That is the grace of a master always. So one should also practice, hone, cultivate the skills of grace, attitudes of grace, the elements of grace within. Nothing comes easy. Nothing is really easy. Everything has to be sculpted, chiseled. No, it has to be sharpened every time, every moment.
So one more curiosity question, sir. What made you think of the World United?
What made me think of World United?
Yes, sir. Why did you plan the World United?
I feel that I'm born for this.
But there must be something, sir.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. I feel that I'm born for this because it is there since my childhood. Not subconsciously, but consciously. But it needs preparation. It needs preparation, a lot of preparation. See, the penalty of entering into the physical world is the first penalty, check post. No, we pay toll gate. At toll gate, we pay money, right? Unless we pay money, you will not allow your vehicle to go forward.
Yes.
So the penalty we pay at the toll gate of this planet Earth, you know what is that? We have to get into the dirt and murky, dirty aspects of this planet. This planet has got mass mental conditionings. The parenting is very bad, schooling is very bad, the very environment is very bad. In all this bad atmosphere, you also acquire dust. That reason why, like Lord Krishna could perform miracles right from his childhood, no master in this present world can perform miracles like that.
Yeah.
Because of the mass conditionings, so dense, so horrible. It's nothing but a horror film. Planet Earth is a horror film. It is not a comedy. It is a tragedy here. So the penalty for any wise man to enter to planet Earth is to accumulate all these images, all these conditionings first. After some time, he understands that he's a stupid. Knowing one's stupidity is nothing but awakening. Knowing one's idiocy is nothing but enlightenment. Enlightenment is not something new. It is knowing that I am a stupid, yes, then only awakening starts. And knowing means understanding. When I say know means understand. When I understand that I'm a stupid, I get awakened next moment. We never accept our stupidities.
Yeah.
We're so attached to our stupidity, so much pathologically attached to that, we never want to leave it away. If you want to leave it, is as if it is like suicide, as if it is killing my soul. That's the reason why we never leave our stupidities. We are very fond of it. So relinquishing one's stupidities once for all is called as awakening for me. It happened in my life that way. And when I started stopping to be a stupid, I discovered the inherent mission or purpose, whatever you call it, the World United. And it was triggered by my own higher consciousness. Always we have angels and fairies helping us, ourselves, helping us every given moment. We ignore them. We ignore their presence even. When we start realizing their presence, they're always ready to help. Right now, here. That alignment has to happen. And it happened to me. When we started, Mr. Karthikeyan sir, in 2007, I met him, I proposed this idea to him. He welcomed all these great ideas. He was with me always, continuously.
And slowly we started the World Parliament on Spirituality in 2012. It was a huge, huge success. I have never seen such an event in my life. And followed by second World Parliament in USA, and followed by the third one last year. And it is growing now, growing country to country, it is spreading like wildfire. Now the World United has its presence in all the 200 countries. At least 10 people are there waiting for us, speaking, waiting to be a speaker, waiting to be a part of the World United. Everywhere, see, one more important thing is, it's not me as individual which is doing that. The same vision is given or taken up by several individuals of the world, like yourself, like Shemiji, like Anoopji, so many. Everyone has been inspired with the vision. It's common vision. There's not special, nothing special about it. But thing is, someone has to initiate it. It should happen with me. But it doesn't mean that I take pride of, yes, I'm the founder of it. It's all nonsense. It's a co-creation, because it is the dream of the planet Earth. Everyone is playing their own role in different degrees and capacities and skills and talents. That always is variable factor, right? So within their capacities, within their skills and talents, everybody is contributing, irrespective of their language barriers, irrespective of whatever profession, social status, gender. There are no discriminant factors here. Everybody is taking their role, taking leadership, taking initiative on their own, moving forward with common principle, with procedural diversity. Procedurally, everything is different everywhere in each country, but principles same, bringing unity consciousness everywhere. Now, can you believe in 1 year, 10,000 speakers are speaking on this platform, GTF? 10,000 speakers. In India alone, 94 speakers signed up. Who called all these people? Was there any special invitation?
No.
It's all going like, one-to-one, one-to-one, one-to-one. It was spreading like that. If I want to invite, maybe I would have invited so many people. I didn't do it deliberately. I don't want to do it. I can be a moderator sitting on your chair, but I don't want to do it. I want you to do it.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
So that's the way.
Yes, sir.
Larger dreams need large number of people. When the dream is big, teams have to be large.
Right.
It has to be expanded as per the size of the dream and vision. And it is happening right under our nose. No more theoretical or philosophical or conceptual utopic ideas. No, it is very much realistically happening in the social reality, not somewhere in astral realms. In the physical reality, everything is happening, manifesting, unfolding, blossoming, mysterious way, mystical way. It is a big surprise and wonder for me how, people of Australia, people of islands, there are so many islands nearby Australia, not 23 islands, which are recognized as sovereign countries, Marshall Islands, Cook's Islands, Fiji Islands, Galapagos Islands. So many islands are there. We don't know who they are. Who are the speakers? How can we know? Can you name any 4 speakers living in South America who talk on spirituality? A continent, but we don't know 4 people. But you know how many people are speaking in South America? 2,000 people are speaking.
Oh,
2,000.
big number.
There is an island called Kosovo Island, south of Argentina. The population of the island is 1,150 people. 10 speakers have come forward from that island. 1,150 people in one island. See, that's how mysteriously it's happening.
Okay.
So when we love some people unconditionally, they also love us.
Yes.
But we have to initiate. So people are always in slumber, rigid. Just hug. They will also hug you. That's all. There's no secret here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you make the beginning. You take initiative.
Okay, sir.
Now you hug entire world.
Yeah.
And
So
the entire world will hug you.
the beginning,
All for one for all.
we should join as council members, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So how does it work, sir? How does the council work?
See, everywhere in each country, we are initiating something called as Council of the World United. Council means we have some themes for which all speakers have signed up. These themes are called as wings of the World United. For example, spirituality, health. At a national level, we need at least 9 to 10 people, so that they gather, invite people who speak on spirituality health for the real sake of integration of all these modalities of treatment in each state, all the 28 states and 9 territories of India. Similarly, education. Similarly, arts and culture, women empowerment, youth empowerment, business management, politics and governance, all these things. So a national council will take responsibility for creating state-wise activities, which is going to happen in 2022. And the name of this event is called as VAO, We Are One Summit. Basically, we are one, separated in physical bodies. Separated on some body has got old age, some body has got young age. Some is a female body, some is a male body. Some has a brown skin tone, yellow skin tone, black skin tone, whatever skin tones we have. So different types of physical bodies, but consciousness is same. We are basically one. But we are trying to understand we are one conceptually. No, we are basically one. We have to unfold, raise ourselves to the truth. We can't conceptually understand anything in spirituality. Conceptual understandings are not understandings at all. They are undertakings, not understandings. Understanding is different. It happens through experience. One's experience, individual experience, customized individual experience, which happens always effortlessly. It comes effortlessly as an insight, as a satori, as a blossoming, as an opening. No? So that erupts, that emerges inside each one. When we all work together, the togetherness turns into oneness one day. There is a culmination point here. The council is basically meant for culmination of integration of all types of fields of activity in the social reality with spirituality as its base. So we are forming national councils, and definitely we are going to form state level councils. And there are 2 more levels, districts and mandals. The job is over. Next is only maintenance. We'll sit together and take up activities and causes of the world. We will take up everywhere. Numbers, bigger dreams need larger teams. So the teams are structured like this. While spirituality can never be structured, activity can always be a structured way. Spirituality cannot be learned in a syllabus or syllabi pattern. First chapter, second chapter, third chapter, we can't learn spirituality like that. But when it comes to activity, it has a step-by-step process, a gradual process. But learning of spiritual wisdom is never step-by-step. It is drastic. It is sudden. It never follows a structure. It is disorganized. But when activity is concerned, everything is organized. Everything is structured. Everything as per plan and vision. So we are doing both. So the B aspects of this is called as spirituality. The do aspect of what we are doing is activity. So spirituality and activity, be a do, be, this type of alternative rooting of one's consciousness, acting upon it, that goes alternatively, always. Sequentially, sometimes simultaneously, sometimes all types of combinations here again, one after the other.
Yes.
So councils are very important, and we need to move as per these councils, and we are actually moving.